Testing 1 2, testing 1 2. Okay. All right. So let's get to looking around here. Jump over to our main chart real quick. So one that I was seeing this morning, I saw it pop up just a little bit. SI. It's a little bit higher flow. I'll probably be watching it like later on in the day as well. But it's a CSISI, $6 stock. They have news on today. But yeah, I'm gonna see what this one wants to do. I saw some low floats moving as well that are kind of sucking up some attention. AUUD and NBY as well. But SISI is about to get it's about to open up for retail traders. So I wanted to see what that was gonna do. But NBY is a little bit cheaper, not too, not too much going on over here on a dollar. And then AUUD is also walking up the board. So I want to see what the explosion would look like on these now that it is retail trader time. Is it just going to slam or what? This is a Chinese stock, you know, so definitely be careful with it, but looking like it's getting a little pump there. I have not looked too much at the daily chart. Let's actually do that. So it reached a high up here of 716. Let's go over here and look at this on SISI. Wow. Well, definitely broke a new high there on SISI, but it is a higher float. So we'll see what this range continues to do. Go over here and look at this daily chart. I want to see it pull back first before I start going and looking somewhere else. Okay, another little break. Going up there to 737. This is retail traders coming in and trading this. So a push from almost a dollar push out, basically. Says the name of this one is Shineco. Shineco Inc. through its subsidiaries. Man, this thing's just not pulling back, is it? Pull back a little bit so we can go and read some stuff. Wow. So 3 times hitting those shorts in the mouth. Are they ready to take action here? 3 small little breakouts here. So from 740 up to 750, 750 up to 757, 757 up to 762. All right, so now it looks like it's going to be pulling back a little bit. Yeah. All right, so let's get over here and see what this is. So its subsidiaries, Shineco Inc. through its subsidiaries plant processes and distributes agricultural produce. The company also engages in the development, production, and distribution of diagnostic products and related medical devices, trading of fresh fruits and processing, producing and distribution of silk and silk fabrics, as well as other byproducts in addition. It operates a restaurant in Fuzhou, or oh my, Fuzhou. The company was formerly known as Beijing Tenant Jove Technological Development Company Limited Shanko. It was incorporated in 1997 and is based in Beijing, the People's Republic of China. Okay, let me open back up my signals. So still all I'm seeing out here on the signals is MBY for low flows. This is not a low flow. This has 39 million in the float or so. Yeah, 39 million, almost 40 million in the float, 45 million outstanding shares. And that's why I was like, I wonder how this thing is going to end up closing up. But that initial 6 o'clock rush was kind of something special. And I don't know if it'll be able to do it again as people look at it and kind of see what's going on with this Chinese stock. But I could be absolutely wrong, and this thing could want to go to the moon. So hit a top up here. And now that it's giving us some pullback, let's go and look at the daily chart. Well, I thought it was giving us some pullback. Let's see you start getting back below 724s. Nope, still pushing. It'll break out again. Definitely forming some wicks up here on the one. 763 still holding as the high. It's going to need to show some weakness through this 725 level. Get some actual pullback going on. Break down 725 and start giving us a real pullback so we can flip over to the daily chart. And popping right back up. Okay. Wow. Closing this candle in about 15 seconds. Just does not want to break down. Okay. Okay, another breakout. The top side was 763. It popped up just a little bit to 765, a 2 cent breakout. All right, so since it's in this formation, I'm gonna go ahead and go over to the daily chart. Let's see if we can see what we can see over here. On the daily chart, this is where it has gapped up to. It was, I don't know if it did a reverse split or what it did to get up here, but it closed yesterday at 495. Had a top up here of 718, which it kind of cracked this morning. So this is a possible daily level. Possible daily level at right at that tip right there. Then down here we have the 609s where it's got some rejection there. So 611. Let me remove that. But I want obvious things. So obviously there was a bottom here at 472 and 611. So let me duplicate everything else. I mean, there was a obvious gap fill right here and here. So these are possible daily levels too. Gap fill. We'll be watching these levels. Two gaps, and I probably want to rename this so I know these are gap levels and not just, you know, some random levels. So gap. And which one was this? This is the 566. So that's the gap towards the downside. Gap. Just put bottom gap. And then up here, we got that top. Top of that gap area. Okay. Okay, so we got that marked up. Let's jump back over and let's zoom back a little bit, see what's further back here. I don't think anything is up here. I mean, until like way back here in 2024. So I'm not sure about all of that. But we got the most recent stuff marked up, so we'll see what it does around those levels. On those levels on SISI, this was the 716. That was the first tip top of the breakout. It broke out of this, got choppy, and came back down. This was the top of that gap fill level, that 613. Then we got a 566. So we got levels under it for some type of support if it wants to come down there. But yeah, this is a higher float one. Let me go and see if there are any other low floats out here. I got over here on the signals, we got cheaper one, NBY up 65%. We got AUUD up 38%. What is Flint? That's not up too much. Rime, RIME is up, but it's got some let me see. This news on today. Oops, wrong thing. News. August 20th. Yeah, it's got some earnings news, but not too explosive. Only not even a million shares traded in there yet. SG, and then nothing else really competing with this one. Yeah, no, nothing else in the low flow land. All right, back over here to SISI. These are those obvious levels down there, but I really, for these higher float stocks, I really want to wait for intraday trading, especially on the Chinese stock, because these pre-markets can be dreadful. But there is opportunity and range here. So let me go. Did we actually even look into this? We read what the deal was, what the news was for this morning though. Let's go over that on this one. It is coming back up around 7, but again, it could start using this 716 as resistance. So let's go ahead and see what we got. This is a Beijing. Okay, so Beijing, Shinko, whatever, leading innovator, blockchain. So um, it induced pluripotent stem cell technology today, announced an execution of a cellular asset on-chaining and marketing ecosystem cooperation agreement with blockchain infrastructure provider Plus Me Limited. This partnership enables blockchain-based tokenization of biological cellular assets, facilitating seamless global transfers and auditable standardized custody, creating a novel asset on-chaining plus application scenarios model in cell therapy. The collaboration will redefine the global biological cell. Now, let me go and look at this token, this Plus Me Limited. Go look at them. I might want to purchase the token over this. Let's see. Plus Me Limited. Is the Plus Me. I'm not seeing Plus Me Limited. Maybe it's not a token. Okay, let's jump back over. Blockchain infrastructure from provider Plus Me Limited. I need to see who is Plus Me Limited. I just copied that in my notes. Once we go over there and start asking questions. Okay, under the agreement, Plus Me will deploy full lifecycle digital custody of Shineco's compliant, oh my goodness, mesenchymal stem cells and the Ethereum mainnet. Smart contracts, oh, this is going to be on Ethereum. Okay. Smart contracts will immutably secure asset ownership rights, issuing unique non-fungible or non-changeable digital identifiers for each cellular asset to ensure traceability and compliance. Verifiable uniqueness and regulatory compliance are cryptographically enforced through on-chain hashing. Plus Me is will issue ERC 1400 and ERC 20 compliant security tokens branded as Cell Infusion Redemption tokens. These utility tokens can be redeemed at Shineco's affiliated cell therapy centers. With tokens are programmatically burned upon redemption, enforcing scarcity and aligning long-term value for stakeholders. So basically what burn mean is like if you have a token and you go and redeem that token, it is no longer useful. It can't be used again once it's burned, you know. There might be, I didn't see anything about a limited amount. I didn't see, yeah. So they can create more tokens, but I don't see anything about a limited amount. But let's continue reading. Burned on redemption, enforcing scarcity, tokenization, critical industry pain points, higher use costs, unverifiable product provenance, and illiquid asset pools, converting biological assets into tradable digital instruments. To bolster the initiative, Shineco has secured a controlling 51% stake in Zhang Dongao Health Management Company Limited, a specialist in cryogenic cell storage, so freezing cells, and clinical applications, provides the off-chain infrastructure critical to token redemption. As of August 18th, 2025, this strategic buyout operationalizes the tokenization initiative, providing off-chain infrastructure for token redemption, combined with the previously acquired Singapore firm oh my goodness, Infiniclone. Shineko now controls a global storage and infusion network. Okay. The parties will co-build an open cell industry ecosystem. Plus Me provides the tokenization, while Shineko opens its physical custody network. Shineko maintains off-chain. Oh my goodness, it's going back up. So this is what we're looking at, is retesting this level here of the 716. This is the first candle back through this level. Will it be able to, and the point of control is up here at the 730s. Will it find, is it a nail right now? Do they want to hammer it down, or is it about to go up some more? 716 is that point. It may need to come back and prove that it can hold it though. Yeah, okay. Came down to 722 on the low of that 1 minute candle. Little, ooh. Okay, closed in a little bit of indecision, but open above. Let's see if it can hold above 722s there. This is the second time that it's been over the top of its pretty much almost all-time highs, but I don't know. Let me go look at it if it did a reverse split or something. Showing a little bit of pullback there, but wasn't able to go much further down. The high of this little candle is 746. Okay, that's a double top there. Nope, that's a little bit higher than a double top. It's like 1 cent breakout there. So let's see if they trap some people in here to go back the other way. Right now, this level is acting as a little bit of resistance, especially if it drops back under after regaining down here and coming back up to it. Okay, indecision. Let's see if it can go ahead and break a lower low. Back under 725s. All right, 727. Almost got the breakdown, but not quite. Okay, let me continue to look at this. All right, so Plus Me, third party, physical custody, blase, blase. And they're all focusing on Ethereum. Interesting. I don't know if I told you about the stock that, or not the stock, the crypto bio that I had got into. It was one that was kind of doing something like this, where it would allow researchers to have a crypto chain as far as biological research and all of that good stuff. Right now, this one looking like, okay, now it's breaking lows. Let's go over here and ask some questions about SISI, as it is fighting to stay over there 716. All right, so what? Oh boy. Okay, it's done. It's held up that level, throwing up some. Now again, we see these patterns of these high wicks. We haven't seen any high wicks over here yet. So I don't know what actions it's going to do. Will it continue this pattern of high wicks on the 1 minute? Let's jump to the 5. I've been looking at the 1 minute this whole time. So on the 5 minute, we can see that it came down to 691. And let's actually mark up some pre-market levels since it seems to be showing us some pre-market levels here. So 15-minute high was 765. And I got to remember the color that I made those pre-market levels. So a high of 7 whatever. And that color was something like that, maybe. Something like that. Okay, this is a pre-market level though. On the 15. And let's go ahead and go to the 5. At a flat top right in here. Duplicate some pre-market levels here. Kind of flattened out around that 738. Not sure about these down here. This 692 and all of this. So right around a $7 level here. I don't know what it wants to do. We'll see. Okay, but anyway, let me go and ask some questions. These little blue lines here are pre-market levels. This is the actual daily level. So this is the one that I more likely trust. Got up here twice and again got punched down below this level. So that is slowing down the momentum. Okay, so let's ask questions about SISI. What is SI financial history? Has it performed any reverse splits or shelf registrations? Okay, so let's get that going, and I'll flip over there once it answers that. And again, it's making its little point right here at the possible daily. That's 716 again. The second time it's trying to gather up, but okay, so we're out here. Let's see. All right, so over here on this SI whatever, Sissy Inc. Financial history, reverse splits, and shelf registration. Let's break down your sharp question about Sissy with a focus on its financial history, reverse splits. Okay, Sissy Inc. is a micro cap company often associated with high volatility. Okay, we know that. Over the past few years, Sissy has experienced significant fluctuations in its share price and market capitalization, driven by both operational results and capital market activities. Sissy has performed reverse stock splits in recent years. For example, on May 8th, 2024, Sissy Inc. executed a 1-for-10 reverse stock split. This move was likely aimed at regaining compliance with minimum bid price requirements for continued listing. No additional reverse splits have been reported. As far as shelf registration, Sissy Inc. has filed shelf registration statements with SEC in the past. Most recently, a shelf registration was filed on April 15th, allowing the company to issue new shares or other securities up to a specific amount over time. Shelf registrations provide flexibility for future capital raises, but do not guarantee immediate dilution. No new shelf registrations have been reported since April 2024. So we're still within that 2-year period of that shelf registration though. So visual requests, okay, so those are the two things they got there. So there is some type of shelf out here. Let me take notes on that. So there was a shelf registration. We are in the 2-year window of this shelf registration. On April 15, 2024. All right. And then it did a reverse stock split back on May 2024. So, okay. So we got those two things in there on the notes. Let me activate this, move it down a little bit. All right, so it is still holding under this daily level. Daily did act as resistance, and I don't even know about these pre-market levels that it's got up here. But we'll see as it comes down. Can we see any more clear pre-market levels? But it's definitely showing some respect to this 716. It's got a level all the way down here to 613 where it started this rip from, and then below that 566, which would be almost in line with the ATR high there. All right, so let's go look at the financials of this company. Tell me about financials of this company. And again, if you guys have any things that you all are seeing, throw it into the chat as far as low floats and all that, and we'll jump over there as well. Okay, so tell me about those financials. Okay, great question. Let's dive into the financials of Sissy as close as possible to August 2025. The most recent available data is from Q3 2025, ended March 31st, 2025. So keep in mind there may be a lag compared to today's date. Okay, so period Q3. Let's just jump back to the fiscal year 2024. Looks like they made 9 million in revenue. Gross profit was 882K. Gross margin 9. The operating income was negative 17 million. Then Q4 we made less revenue. This is a 4.5 million in revenue. Gross profit also decreased. And then the operating income decreased as well, but I'm guessing they pulled back on some of their services or they sold some things off there. Then we have revenue going down again to 3 million in Q2. 121,000 in gross profit. Again, this is a decreasing ladder looking like. Operating income now down to 2.64 million. And then in Q3 2025, revenue of only 41K. So jumped down from the millions down to 50K. Gross profit is now in the negative. So we see this 2024 fiscal year, Q4, Q2, and now a negative 14K in gross profit. So are they trying to raise money? I think so. Operating income 3.76 in the negatives. So, operating income is now increasing into the negatives. And operating margin is insanely, I don't even know how this is 9,000 something, but yeah, that's crazy. All right. So revenue collapsed in the latest quarter. Revenue dropped sharply to just 41K in Q3 2025, down from millions in previous quarters. Why it matters, such dramatic decline signals severe operational and market challenges, potentially loss of major customers' business, disruption or strategic pivot, negative gross profit margin. Gross profit turned negative to negative 14 as gross margin fell to negative 34%, reversing the slight profitability seen in prior quarters. Negative gross margin means SISI is losing money on poor operations before overhead unsustainable if not quickly addressed. Operating losses worsen. Operating income was deeply negative. Okay, so we looked at all that. EPS remains deeply negative. Volatility across financial metrics. Okay, so SI's latest financials reflect extreme instability, collapsing revenue, negative margins, and deepening loose or losses of as of March 31st. Okay, so it looks like they're trying to raise some money. SISI over here, it is back over this 716, testing this. I don't know why it's respecting a pre-market level, but it is. Pre-market level just stopped it right there at 738. We'll see again if it gets pushed under this 716. So we got our notes down here. Chinese company, reverse stock split back on May 8th, and then April 15th with the shelf registration. So they are definitely hurting for money. So I'm definitely conscious of that fact. Let's go over here to our news feed. Yeah, MBY hit my scan earlier for sure. Let's see, BMR, MBY. Yeah. My scans over here on signals. So MBY for the low floats is at the top of the list there. It is a cheaper one at 94 cents. The ATR is 8 cents. So that is kind of a low ATR there. The news on it, it enters a $6 million securities purchase agreement. So somebody is buying, an investor, David E. Lazar, is buying $6 million worth of this stock. And then the other ones that I saw out here was AUUD. So these are the top two, AUUD and MBY for the low floats, and which is why I just focused kind of on something that was moving with range, which was a sissy on today. So the three that I have that I've been looking at is MBY. Walking on down into these levels. I didn't even look at this daily chart because it was so cheap. I didn't want to just spend a whole bunch of time on it. But yeah, sissy. I mean, look at this range in here. Even though it has shelf registrations, it's a Chinese stock and all of that, it's actually offering bigger opportunities. But I've done my due diligence on Sissy, and it has 5 million shares traded. MBI has 22 million shares traded, but let's look at this range though. So it went from 94 cents up to a high, or it dropped from 118 down here to 94 cents. And it has this range in here with 22 million. ATR closed yesterday of 4 cents. Let's look at the daily chart on MBY. And these are really old lines. I don't even know when I did this. Okay, because they're not even labeled. So I've looked at this one before for some reason. So it is up to 90 something cents, right? And it looks like it returned to the level that I had marked. Let me look at when I did this. Edit properties. So I made these marks in May, or yeah, May 2nd, 2023 was when I made those marks. So let me see, May 2nd, 2023. How in the world? Oh, they did a reverse stock split and messed the chart up. That's what it is. Okay. Yeah, they did some kind of reverse stock split to make the chart change like that. Looks completely different. And then AUUD was another one. AUD closed at 219. It's currently trading at 288. And not a whole lot of oh boy, Sissy up to, oh man. See, this is why I wasn't worried about those cheaper ones, bro. Those cheaper ones, when something is moving with range like this, look at this. We just looked at this, and it's up to 817. Moved from, now think about it. Sissy is moving 3 cents, right? This thing jumped from $7.29 to $8. You know what I'm saying? Like that's why I wasn't wasting time looking at those cheap ones. With this one moving, even though it's got lower volume, people are on it. Closed with an ATR of 74 cents yesterday, and today it has an ATR of $1.51. So almost what 40 something cent gain in the ATR. Huge knock up through these pre-market levels. But like I said, we've already done our due diligence. We know that they are definitely trying to make some money here. Has a shelf registration that we are within the window of. We're just waiting to see it unfold. Up 62% right now with 6 million shares. The R vol is 65 times the normal volume. But look at that thing moving up. Whew. Danger. Is anybody trying to wait? I don't even know if this thing is easy to borrow. Oh, it's hard to borrow. I see it. HTB. I never checked that if these are hard to borrow or what, but that means that they're, all those shares that were short or whatever, they're ready. They're ready to do some selling. All right. So look at this range from the bottom of this. This is a $3 move here. Moving up, hungry. Came up, tested this 7-7. I thought it was going to end up holding down here, but this was a little bit unpredictable anyway. This blast up over this level on a 1 minute. Let me look at the 5. Yeah. Made this little level, so it did not respect those pre-market levels at all. Shot straight through them. Didn't even have a second thought about getting through them. Go to the 15-minute. Point of control still down here on the 685 on the 15-minute. 685, and then on the 5-minute is 723, so it's definitely moved up on the 5, but the 15 is pretty stagnant. $7.24. But at least making all this money, when they do sell, they'll be able to report some better news, more than 40K, right? Because they were down 14K this quarter. So this would at least make that back, right? 14K sell off. 7 million shares traded. Let's look at the overall market too. Overall market definitely did some selling off yesterday. Looks like it's rebundling up for that $8. But this is what the open market was doing yesterday. Had a nice little drop off here. 23,700 down here to 23,300. So that's about a $400 move. And right now it's just kind of sitting still. Not really moving much. All right, let's get back in here. Some Gordon Gekko or Gordon Geck. Gordon Geck. Yeah, it's doing some neck breaking moves here for sure. If I own this company and I put out, and it's not even that they're doing a crypto treasury, they're making a blockchain where basically to get services or whatever, you use your tokens. You get invested with them on their tokens, and you're able to transition those tokens. And I guess a good thing about tokens and things like that is they are transferable, or you can exchange them, right? So let's say you get a bunch of these tokens and you don't use them, kind of like life insurance. Instead of you having life insurance or car insurance and never using it, you can transfer these tokens possibly to something else that's on the Ethereum chain, right? So let's say if they give you a health, some kind of medical distribution or something in this token, you can trade that in for something better. Maybe, get it to not Bitcoin, but let me think, Ethereum. You can get it to Ethereum or something else that is like that. So I guess it is giving some more use cases, but with them hurting like they are deep in the red, I'll be careful. Good morning, Tatiana. We're in here. We're watching SISI, also known as Sissy. It has been making some incredible moves with some incredible range. And let me look back over here. I really don't think any low flows are going to be messing with it just yet. It's going to need to die off. NBY has 175 not million, 175 times its normal ATR. And AUUD also has a pretty big ATR, not ATR over here, but a RVOL as well, 26 times its norm. So these two would be the ones that I would, expect for people to go and trade as low flows. But if this is the best that the low flows is offering, that's not great. What we're looking at is a higher float on SISI. The float on this one is 39 million. Shares outstanding 45 million. So good morning, Donnell. So let's see if it respects these pre-market levels now, or is it just gonna slash back through them like it did on this pop through. Pre-market level right there at the 764s and then 738s. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Ugh. It's crazy how the time zones work, man. It's like crack of dawn over here. The sun's just barely coming out in this afternoon where he's at. He's probably having like a afternoon snack right now, sitting down, watching Sissy slap people around here. So I'm guessing this move. So based on the news, based on everything that we've seen that it has, this is the irrational side of the move, right? All of this upward jutting up and all of this. We want to see what the rational side looks like, what the downwards, the actual downside of this looks like. Last had so much prospects yesterday till it didn't. Yeah, yesterday was it was all over the place. There was a lot of this. It was like every time I looked, there was something new in every cap. So large caps was going off, mid caps, small caps, and I'm like, the volume is getting too dispersed. Everything's just everywhere. Penny stocks, everything just moving. I'm like, man, come on. You need to focus in, man. Get that tunnel vision. Let me look back over here at the signal. Actually, let me look at the news feed and see if anything else has popped out on the news feed. I just saw news on Target. Target is down 10% under $100. It's at $94 right now. I think they pay a dividend, right? Target, the store. Let's see, divvies. Do they pay a dividend? Come on, give us that information. Okay, TGT. I think Target pays a dividend. I'm pretty sure they do. Okay, let's see. So Target started paying dividends in 2000 of 5 cents. 5 cents, 6 cents, and these were quarterly dividends. 8 cents, 10 cents, 2006, 2008, 16, 17, 25, 30. Yeah, they are paying some dividends out. Okay. 52 cents. Okay, so yeah, Target is 64 cents in 2018, 68, 90 cents. $1.08 So about $1.12, and the last ones, the ones that's currently on the books to come out, here is a quarterly one at 9, or what is it? The 9, what is January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, whatever. Okay, so yeah, $1.14 is on the books, and they have the rest of them scheduled for when they're coming out. So about $1.14 there, which isn't bad, especially if you have, I don't know. I would definitely have to enter that one slow because it's at $94. I like to maybe see it come down a little bit more, but it is what it is. So Target, let's go look at that daily chart on Target. Sissy came down and tested this pre-market level. It respected it a little bit more than it did coming through here. So respected it a little bit, but we'll see if pre-market levels end up holding up. Let's go to TGT Target. Let's go to the daily chart out here, where I got Target here. Okay, so Target, oh, these are old, yeah. So it was once had a high of $268 per share, and had a gap down. Okay. I would like to see if it can come down some more, to be honest. This is another gap down because it closed yesterday at 105 or 105.36, and now it is at 94.51. So that's a gap down right there too. I like to see the retail come on down, try to partake in some of these dividends at a lower price. Looking at the 15-minute here, so yeah, there's a 110 with a nice little gap down there, 293s. Don't exactly know why. They released their earnings. They said Target's board of directors unanimously appoints Michael Fieldike to serve as something there. To serve as Target's next CEO. So they chose a new CEO. They said their net sales were $25.2 billion, a 0.9% lower than 2024, representing a nearly 2% point improvement versus the first quarter. Okay, so lower than last year, but a better percentage than the first quarter. Traffic and sales trends improved meaningfully compared to the first quarter. All 6 core merchandising categories saw comparable sales improvements. Digital comparable sales grew 4.3%. Okay, and then non-merchandise sales grew. So they have some growth, but they're still, their prices, stock price is coming on down. So I'll keep an eye on that. I'll definitely keep an eye on Target. Back over to Sissy. Sissy here. Okay, so again, floating around this pre-market level, showing it a whole lot of respect around this, kind of slowing down on this. Point of control right now on the 1 minute is 724. And definitely closing up that big range that we've been seeing. So we look back at these explosive candles. This one went from 628 up here into the 735s. So almost $1 move. Then we had one right here, 692 up to 734. So about a 40-cent move. 730 up to $8. So about a 70-cent move there. And now it's all of a sudden just kind of chopping around. All right. Let me read some of these chats here. You called out Lace. Lace, is it back in the mix? LAES. I don't see it. It has 300,000 shares in volume. This was one that I traded yesterday, and I got greedy. I got super greedy on Lace. I marked up this little trend during the day, and I got in at 456 here, and I was looking for it to continue up. It came up here. I did not take profit up here, and these spikes up here, I was just expecting it to break up to 5, It did not, and it stopped me out for a loss. I was like, oh man, but it is what it is. It just, I really thought it could do better. Well, especially once it got going across that 450, I was like, all right, let's see. This is a pre-market level that you're coming back up to. You tested this before. This 450 came up here, tested, and finally got a break. And so I jumped in there at 456, but yeah, did not end up continuing on lace. Okay, back over to, let's look at the signals and see if we're getting anything other than NBY. I see Sologenics, but it's super, the relative volume is super low. BSLK was moving earlier. I don't know what happened to it. BSLK. Okay, yeah, that was one that was moving yesterday as well. Went up from $9 all the way up here to 12 during midday, right into lunchtime. Oh, let's see. Okay, let's jump back over. It's a lot of indecision about this pre-market level that it's on. Almost made it to 10 million shares, but not quite. Anyway, hopefully your weeks have been going pretty good. I've been looking for new things to buy, really. Dividends, crypto. Just been I've been a buyer in this market as the market has been coming down, and like Bitcoin is down quite a bit right now. It came down. It was up at 124s, and now it's down to 113. So I'm definitely looking for it to continue to come down, so I can either add to current positions or look for new coins to buy. Ethereum is not having the same motion. It pulled back a little bit, but it's still looking really bullish. Sol pulled back a bit, so just kind of looking for new opportunities as the market comes down. Again, SISI, what are you doing here? Has come down and tested this pre-market level. Why is it respecting this level so much? I don't know. Actually, if we look back just a little bit, we can see it's right here on this previous breakout level, and doing very small breakouts here. I say small, and then it goes and pops like that. It's like, oh no, you thought? Oh, no. All right, so hit a high of 786 right there. 76, 775. That's crazy. So it did respect that pre-market level. Let's see if it continues to respect it though. This is 1, 2 times, and there are indecision candles right at this level too. Indecision there and there. Looking back over at AUUD, it didn't get any heat over here with 18 million shares traded, and then MBY, not much heat as well. But it is hump day. Sometimes hump days are weird. Midweek, people are either on pins and, oh, is there any news coming out as far as FOMC? Let me go check that. Oh, I didn't mean to close both of them. Go check that FOMC. I think we had a symposium today. Today is the 20th. So speech by Christopher Waller at Wyoming Blockchain Symposium. And I guess that could have kind of helped with the push of SISI with it talking about them talking about blockchain as well. But SI is a Chinese company, so I don't know how much this would be helping it. But it is on the same idea of blockchain and crypto. So again, throwing a wick down here. Almost 9 million shares traded on it. Let's look at gold. Our boy gold is trying to make its way back out of the trenches. It has been on the motion downward since, stop it. On the motion downward since that. Why does it keep doing that? Here you go. I don't even know. Okay, well, anyway, it's been on the motion downwards, but it looks like it's trying to do some upward motion. Not sure. New money entering the market again, buying those dips. Oil is also up as well, filling a gap. Had a gap down and filling that completely. Again, did it once there and now making its way back up as well. Let's see, what is this popping? Something else just popped. Okay, did not pop for long. I don't see anything there. I don't know what that was popping. Was it a low float though? Flint FLNT is up 23%, but it's not. I don't see the volume moving a whole lot. It said it's under 1 million shares traded, maybe later on in the day, but it doesn't have any news right now. JXG, a cheaper one, up 15%. That doesn't have any news, and it's super low volume right there. All right, let's pop back over to Sissy, which just continues to bottle up. I mean, that's basically the move right now. It's just bottling up. Respected the pre-market, another pop. 65 up to $8, so about a 40-cent move there. $11 million shares, so it just reached that 10 million mark. Coming up here to 811, so this is looking like another, if it stops this is going to be another pre-market level, looks like. Make it make sense. All right, so we got another one. 817 was the high here. So I will duplicate pre-market. 817, obvious top. Boy. When are they gonna pull that? Start dumping shares on the market is what I want to see. $8 has held it twice now, so this has been a $3 range from the beginning. Down here from 5 or whatever up here, and it has not came down and tested any of these daily levels. Let's actually look at the daily levels and see what it's actually up to over here. So it has, it has broken above this, went up to 817 there. Let's zoom back and see what that is aligning with, if anything at all. Yeah, a whole lot of things that just don't make a lot of sense. Let me zoom in on this pointer right in here. So it went all the way up to this and then bounced up even more to another. This is not an obvious level. Let's back up some more. Not seeing the obviousness of this. Yeah, these are not obvious levels at all. Nothing else even touching that. Okay. Oh, look at it coming on down. All right, so I guess they are starting to think, and they're like, oh, wait a minute. So hit a high, another pre-market, and back down to this 764 way quicker than it got down here. It took all of this, decision making for a pop, and then right back to it 3 minutes later. Okay. So we're starting to see those shorts starting to take focus. The point of control right now is at the 723. What a time to have the runs, missing all these moves. Yeah, yep. But like I said, we've already researched it and everything. It's making moves for sure. But basically on these types, I mean, you just gotta buy the dip and hope it doesn't drop on you, right? Because buying a dip here and holding it through these little panic areas got the explosion. Buying a dip here, two more panic areas down here, got the explosion, and then got even more of an explosion. So, it's a Chinese stock. It's not super like, oh man, this news is great. It's more like, well, they need money. So, do I want to be a donor? Is the idea here. And the crazy thing is, it's moving like a low float in pre-market. So I'm guessing people during the intraday are going to be like, "Oh yeah, this thing's going to do the same thing during pre-market or during intraday that it's doing during the pre-market." I don't know. Having 39 million in the float is it's quite a feat to try to continue these moves like this. All right, anything else popping back up? NBY just staying around that 96 level. Thar, THAR is popping up. THAR up 47% on THAR. Let me see. It has some type. It looks like financial news or something. Financial. Let me see. Thar Immune reports pharmacokinetic co-kinetic simulation results on prophylaxis. Oh man, it went down. Open this news. Thar, THAR. Okay, so it has news on today. Pharmacokinetic, co-kinetic stimulation or simulation results for some kind of opioids, ultra potent opioids for depression. Let me zoom this back a little bit more. Okay, there we go. Okay, simulation results for TH104 as prophylaxis against respiratory depression from fentanyl, ultra potent opioids, highlighting potential superiority over existing treatments. a clinical stage biopharmaceutical or biotechnology company dedicated to developing innovative therapeutic candidates for inflammation, immunology, and all of this stuff. Fentanyl and related compounds pose national security threats due to their high potency and potential for devastating mass casualty incidents or mass casualty incidents if weaponized. Okay. All right. Well, that's a low float for you. Let's look at what that float is there. Float of 5.56. So the float on the other one, Sissy, was 39 million. This one's 5 something. So this is a way lower float. The ATR on this one is 16 cents. It is 84 times its normal relative volume on THAR. So we'll see if it flies past Sissy in volume. It's really on its way to fly past Sissy. It's almost got 8 million shares traded already, just running up on Sissy. Sissy only has 12 million shares traded. Let's go look at the daily chart on THAR and see if we can actually get some levels that make sense out here on this one. I really don't like trading higher float stocks during pre-market. They just get nasty, man. The majority of the time. Now, Sissy is an outlier today. It is definitely an outlier. But let me go find this one. So it closed at 117 down here. Got up to a high of 182. 182, and then has a top side up here of 197. So that's a clear level there. So we'll edit this and put on a daily. Whoops. Daily level. Possible daily level. Okay. And then behind that, let's see, behind that one, 196, if we scroll forward, that's the only one that I see. Not sure about all this other stuff. So it doesn't really have really clear levels, but it's a cheaper one. So, you know, 90, almost 100 times its normal volume now, almost a 10. Man, this thing caught up with Sissy so fast. Sissy's about to go under. People are more interested in THAR. Now, I don't know if THAR is going to have any range, though. It doesn't matter that the volume's coming in there if the range doesn't open up. If it's so thickly traded that it can't move, then, you know, but the attention is there. You know, because THAR is, wow, THAR has jogged up there to 10 million so quick. Let's look back over here. Sissy broke down. Our pre-market levels went up there, touched that, fell back through this pre-market level, 764, back through this 7 whatever, and now guess what we're back to? 716, the daily level. So will it absolutely fall through this 716? It gathered up here once, gathered twice. Will this be a fall point at 716 with this type of trend going down to it? Let me read some of these chats that I missed. Let me see. Let's see. My favorite dividend is ET. Okay, let me check out ET, Tatiana. Let me do that because that is more interesting. Let's go dividend T. It's called ET. She said energy transfer. Have I seen this one before? I think I've seen this. I don't know. I don't know if I've ever seen this one before. Payouts. Let's go look at when they started. What is their history looking like? So they started paying out dividends in 2006. And let's see, 2008. So they started off with 1 cent, 5 cents, 7 cents, and it has been growing. It has been growing. I like this quarterly dividend. Nice and stable. Let's go look at it. Up to 33 cents right now. This is a high yield dividend, looks like almost. What's the price of this? 17.35. Okay, yeah, it's definitely a almost a high yield dividend. Let's go look at the daily chart. So it has been marching its way on up. So just on a clear path. Oh, snap. A clear path upward here on ET. I think I'm gonna look into this one. I like this trend that it's been having. Right. And let's go back and see where was it current. So it was at $35. I do like the that it has had some dips and recovered. So it came down to the 319 low, shot all the way up to 35, came back down to the $4 around. Wait, what years was this? So the year on this one was 2008. Of course, that makes sense. Then the year on this one was 2016. So 8 years later, went back down, had a little sponge down here to 12 something dollars. Interesting. Okay. And now it's at half price of that $35. Yeah, I've never heard of this one. That's interesting. Let me go and look at what kind of market cap is it rocking with? ET energy transfer market cap. It should be a pretty big. Okay, yeah, 59 billion. Pretty stable. What do they do? All right, so bulls and bears. So let me read a little bit of this. So energy transfer process. Let me make this bigger. Wait a minute. But I thought I made it bigger. Okay, well, let me bring it back over since it wants to be greedy with the screen there. All right, energy transfer processes a substantial asset base comprising extensive pipeline networks and facilities that position the company favorably to capitalize on rising commodity prices and growing production of crude oil, natural gas, and natural gas liquids. The company's commitment to strategic growth initiatives, including projects related to natural gas consumption, alongside its strong balance sheet. Let me notate this so I can put it on my watch list. Okay, ET. All right. What was I doing? Natural gas. The company's commitment to strategic growth initiatives, including projects related to natural gas consumption, alongside its strong balance sheet, indicates a capacity for meaningful cash flow growth and the ability to increase distributions to unit holders. Okay. They have multiple risks, negative outlook, including reliance on timely completion of growth projects, potential declines in drilling activity due to weak commodity prices, increased competition that may pressure volumes and profitability. The company's downside scenario reflects expectations of lower earnings from a segment sensitive to commodity price fluctuations. All right, so natural gas and gas, primarily in Texas and the U.S. mid-continent region. And right now it's at a hold on the analyst trends. So yeah, definitely not saying bye bye bye, but if you're in there, you're definitely getting blessed, especially if you're in there from the low point. Okay, let's jump back over to our guy, Thar, just sitting there quietly. It almost caught up with Sissy. It slowed down before it got to 12 million. But another bounce for Sissy off of this 716 level, coming back up to that pre-market level. Just continues to just show strength at that 716. 13 million shares traded, but it has an overall trend downward. So what's the probability of it popping back up here and going across this 805 now? That is, the news has been out and people have had time to read it and all of that good stuff. I don't know what the probability is, but I think it's definitely lower than 60%. Maybe like 50%, like, because it's been making these unpredictable moves. We just don't know. But, you know, just looking at the research that we did on it, it's looking a little shaky. All right, AUUD continuing to go down. I see, no, that's nothing. That's not a new one. Let's, okay. MBY got back up there from 90 cents up to 109. 32 million shares traded. It's up 81%. It's leading the day in volume. But the range is, it's that range. Look at the ATR over here. ATR has not grown any. It's still at 8 cents. So the range is really not opening up. Let me read some of these chats here. Okay, so you said something about a wheel. Let me see, very consistent, owned by all the politicians. Okay, so okay. And you also will it. Own 400 shares on wheel 200. Oh, nice. She's out here playing options and everything. I think on hers, so she can actually sell call options and all of that with your shares you got there. Let me see what I got here. SPAI, blah. Thar, popping back up a little bit. I think it's just trying to get more volume there. Sissy continue to hold this very tight range between the 738 and 716. Point of control is at the 733s. Yeah, ET is definitely looking very tasty there. Especially if you get 100 shares of that, and then you can do your options against it, or hedge your position. Oh, MBY, you have a purchase agreement with a new investor. Are people going to follow this investor into this stock is the question. Who is David E. Lazar? Is he somebody that they will jump head over heels in behind? Announces, okay, so let's see. Announces it has entered into a $6 million whatever with David E. Lazar for the purchase of the company's non-voting convertible preferred stock. Nova Bay has received 3.85 million in the first of two closings under the agreement. Effectively, immediately, Mr. Lazar has been appointed as Nova Bay's Chief Executive Officer and Director of the company. Former Chief Executive Officer Justin Hall has assumed the newly created position of Vice President of Business Development. Okay. So it's just a bunch of the administration moving around. Thar is now above Sissy in volume, so has beat out Sissy. So the four that we have on chart right now is MBY, AUUD, Thar, and Sissy. Let me put so this is the watch list that I'm looking at right here. I'm not seeing anything else to add up here just yet. I pretty much have been looking at the low floats, but Sissy was the best looking high float or higher float. Okay, let's change that back. And let's go back to main. Okay. So, yeah. And plus, Star is at 49% now, and Sissy is at 47. So it's even got a bigger gain on the day. So people may be looking at it harder because of that as well. AUUD just has lost itself in the wind, and then NBY also coming down. Star may be the main mover now towards the open. We got what, it's 7:30, almost 7:30, 6 minutes till 7:30, and it is 170 times its normal volume. 170. So the top two movers on today in the low floats are way up there in our vol. A lot of interest on those. Um, yeah, MB, both of them are having pops right now, and this is what was happening yesterday. You know, the volume got so dispersed. It was like, man, but there were some bigger range movers for sure yesterday. NBY popping on down there back into these ranges, right around the $1. Maybe it can, maybe it can't hold $1. It's got 35 million shares traded on it, and Thar is trying to catch it. AUUD is kind of dead in the water. Sissy having a more rational move now to the downside based on, I mean, this company had all the red flags. Chinese company has repeatedly gone deeper and deeper and deeper into the red, has a shelf registration on it, did a reverse stock split to try to keep NASDAQ compliance. And yeah, now it looks like a more rational part of the move going down. Thar continue to throw these wicks towards the top side. The top of this is 182. And on the daily chart, we had marked up. Let's see, what was that daily level? Trying to pop through there a little bit. Let's see. That daily level was 196. 196 up there. $17 million shares traded is catching up with AUUD very quickly. AUD has 24 million, Thar has 17 million. So if Thar becomes the focus on the day, a $1 stock with an ATR of 13 cents, that's going to be quite nasty. But let's see how they end up playing with it. Sissy, let's see, 719. It's right on this daily level now, basically hugging it, giving it a warm embrace. I bet there's so many stop orders under this. They're like, please don't break this down. For the love of all that be. All right, NBY had a little bounce around that $1 level. NBY has kind of got that barcode look a little bit on some of these areas. But yeah, NBY still in the game as well. AUUD getting a pop up there. So some things waking up here towards an hour before the open. They don't want to get completely manhandled. AUUD up 30%, and everything else is almost 50%. Sissy again up here to the pre-market levels. When are they all gonna dump at the same time? That'll be nasty. This is insane. This thing is going back up, but it's being overshadowed by THAR. Point of control at 723. Of 51%. THAR about to hit 20 million shares traded. This is $half level being set upon. THAR going on down there, almost 20 million shares traded on it. Yeah, this is a weird morning for sure. Led by a Chinese mover with low volume, but had range. See, does it actually want to get down through that 716 finally, that daily level? This is the first real drop looking pattern that it's had towards this level with some momentum. Is it finally gonna do it? THAR coming down. Let's see. Previous bottom was 155. Look at some of these 5 and 15 minutes. All right, let's go over to the 15-minute on these so we can see what's going on. So THAR, two top and tails. We needed to zoom back anyway to get our eyes on this a little bit better. Sissy, kind of just sitting in here like this. Bottom, so it looked like an engulfing, but it wasn't. This one looks more like if it can close under 716, it's definitely gonna be looking like a full engulfing on the 15. MBY on the 15-minute. Big top and tail came out here. 104 seems to be the point that it continues to drop back below with 37 million shares traded. And AUUD, small move up after some dissension. So let's jump down to the 5-minute on AUUD. There's a 5 MBY. THAR. Yeah, these are some slower movers now. I think every last one of these are going to go red. Something just, what news just popped on AUUD? Adia shares are trading higher after company announced it made premium AI features free on Pfizer and is pivoting to monetize artists. So they're into music and arts. And it says they have a radio platform now. Let me go out there and look at what's going on here. So that is a little bit of more news there on AUUD. Premium AI features free on Phaser. I think this is just a repeat of the news from earlier, so I don't think that's going to affect much. Just a repeat. Okay, Thar and all of these are looking a little bit more downwards now. Sissy. Sissy's kind of making me mad. I really thought it would have dropped by now, but it looks like it's just going to hold until open. But this is a hump day for you. Lovely Wednesday morning. DIB, let's go check out C or RCKT, the one that he was calling out. I'm gonna check out all of these that y'all got here. That was clear. You said bowels cleared. Okay, yeah, let me check that out. COCH. Yeah, we looked at star. COCH. And then RCKT. All right, so coach went up there. Is this a low float? This doesn't, especially if they're this cheap, they gotta be low floats. If it's a high float and it's this cheap, I don't know. Those kind of make me sweat. All right, so let's see what coach is. So it has a float of 10.93, so not the highest float. It is a little bit lower float. It says Envoy Medical shares are trading higher after the company announced new patients across 3 regions. Okay, so I don't know what they're treating, but yeah, new patients over there. What do they do? Envoy Medical Inc. is a hearing health company focused on providing medical technologies. It is dedicated to pushing hearing technology beyond the status quo to provide patients with improved access, usability, independence, and quality of life. The company has one reportable segment, hearing. The hearing segment derives revenue from the sale of the eStem FIAMEI implants and replacement components for that implant. Okay, let's look at RCKT. RCKT, see what it's about. RCKT, so the float on this one is 55 million. It's up 21%. It says Rocket Pharmaceuticals shares are trading higher after FDA lifted a clinical hold on its pivotal phase 2 trial for RP8501. And that was today. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. They also have some kind of, from August 10th, they had some kind of case going on with losses in excess of 100K, have the opportunity to lead. There's a fraud lawsuit over here on RCKT from August 10th. Law firm reminds investors with losses, class action lawsuit. Okay, I don't know if their class action lawsuit is having a big effect, but fully integrated late stage biotechnology company advancing a suitable pipeline of genetic therapies for rare disorders with high unmet need. They lifted a clinical hold on whatever this RP is. 3 patients, biomarkers, clinical stage, immunomodulatory regimen. With Danon disease. What is Danon disease? Danon disease causes lysosomal glycogen storage disease with normal acid maltase activity. Danon disease is a rare genetic disorder characterized by heart disease, muscle weakness, and intellectual disability, primarily caused by mutations in LAMP2 gene. Okay. It is a rare X-linked metabolic something. Metabolic disorder, X-linked lysosomal and glycogen storage disorder associated with hypertrophic cardiomyopathy or myopathy. Myopathy. Man, my brain. Skeletal muscle weakness and intellectual disability. It is inherited in an X-linked dominant pattern. In males, the symptoms of Danon disease are more severe. Features of Danon disease in males are an early age of onset muscle weakness and heart disease, some learning problems, muscle weakness, heart disease, cardiac conduction abnormalities. Females, later age of onset symptoms. Many females will not have obvious symptoms until late adolescence or even adulthood. Learning problems, muscle weakness, and all of that stuff because they have two X's, right? And males have one X. So, yeah. All right. So let's come back over here. We'll see how that does. I don't really know how they're going to. I haven't seen this one pop up. Let's go back over to the news feed too to see if any new news. So SBet, Sharp Gaming is barely up. Target is still doing its thing. So these are the three that I've seen that are like mid caps with some actual and then NIO is up here with some volume on today. That's what I'm looking for in the news. All right, let's jump back over to what time is it? 7:40. Okay, so we looked at all of those. MBY continue to push up with 40 million shares traded. AAU still dying. I think I'm going to get rid of AAU or AUUD because I just don't see it competing, man. THAR, Sissy, finally dropped under that 716 level, but still no big movements down. COCH and RCKT. We'll keep all of these on watch. RCKT, if we look at the daily chart, it did do quite a bit of a gap down here on RCKT. Has a trend down. It gapped from 628 down here to 264. Gap down. So I don't know about that. Has a whole gap to fill in here back up to 612. I don't know if it's going to do that today. It went up to $4 this morning and was not able to hold that up completely. So it is a cheaper stock as well. All right. I think we covered pretty much everything. Looked at the call outs, looked at pretty much everything, and there are a lot of cheaper ones that are moving right now around $1. MBY and AUUD, THAR, but they are, oh, THAR is super thickly traded. That thing's barely moving. Man. Okay. Well, I got 15 minutes until my meeting, so I'm gonna go ahead and hash this down and get ready for that. We pretty much seen what it is on today. Hump day. Here's the watch list here that actually I might do some cleanup on it. This is what it's looking like now. It's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 names. And Coach is under 14%. It's got a lot of competition above it, so I don't know if Coach is going to be able to do anything. Let me clean that off on that one. And then so we got SISI, THAR playing around, and all of these are headed towards 20 million before the open. Then RCKT, I'm not sure about. That's the medical disease. It's only up 25%. It's got a lot of competition on the board. Anyway, I'm about to jump on down. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. I'll be back on the next pre-market, whatever, and we'll see if we can find something. But today with Sissy was looking like it wanted to take my soul at least. Maybe not everybody's soul. Maybe somebody made some profits on Sissy, but yeah, my soul was definitely under attack today. On these low buys, I mean, after I read into it and saw what it was, I'm like, this thing could drop at any moment. And of course, it didn't drop. It went up from 6 o'clock to like 7 o'clock, and now it's on this little. So it had an hour of upward movement, which was an hour of profits. And then now it's down here, and it's pretty much looking like it's dead. But yeah, that's it for me today. Once again, appreciate you guys, and as always, I will see you in the next one. Let's see. Peace. Which one do I want? Hit that one, that one. Doom.